We're going to start by chaining so we have the height of the top. And the number has to be able to be divided with 3. And now to start the first row, I make 3 chains. And then I'm gonna go into the 6th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then make a single crochet. And then chain 3. Go into the 3rd chain and make a single crochet. And this is what you're gonna repeat. Chain 3, 1 single crochet into the 3rd chain. And if you've counted correctly, you should have 3 chains left at the end of the row, and you will go into the last chain with 1 single crochet. And that is the first row. And then chain 3 and turn over. And now you're gonna make 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. Chain 3, 1 single crochet into the next single crochet, and this is what you're gonna repeat. For the last stitch, the last single crochet, you're just gonna go into the 3rd chain here, so 1, 2, 3, and make a single crochet. Chain 3 and turn. And you just have to make sure that you can see my first chain row is a little bit too tight. I can just pull it a little bit, but it will curl up a little bit if the first chain row is chained a little bit tightly. And now this is what I'm gonna repeat. Just gonna crochet back and forth until I have my measurement. Now when the waist part is done, I'm just gonna finish over here with 1 chain, and then I'm gonna put the first and the last row together, and I'm just gonna crochet through the chains here and make slip stitches. So I'll just go through, make 2 slip stitches per 3 slip stitches. So just go through maybe the first chain and the last chain. So the first chain and the 3rd chain, and then into the single crochet stitch, and again into either the first chain and the 2nd chain, or the first chain and the 3rd chain, whatever works best. And then into the single crochet stitch, and just continue this all the way down. And you can of course also just crochet around or into the hole if you want. I think this is gonna look a little bit more smooth like this. So just continue that. 1 slip stitch in the first chain and 1 slip stitch in the last chain. And a slip stitch into the single crochet. So now you're gonna take a piece of elastic thread, and then we're simply gonna insert the elastic. And we're going to insert it on every other row, so you can either, you're not going to insert it over here because it's going to be too visible, but you can insert it here, and then on the next, here, here, and then if you want to, you can insert it again here. So it's kind of every other row, and we count this as rows now, even though these are actually our stitches. And we're simply just gonna insert the elastic through the stitches, so it just runs, and we're not going to go into the stitch, we're just going to go on top of the stitches. And we can sort of just go, either just go through both loops or just one loop here, and you can kind of, if you want to, you can kind of weave it in like this if it's easier, and that way you can take more stitches at a time. And of course, if you have some elastic thread that is the same color as your yarn, that will be preferred. But otherwise, this is going to be on the wrong side of the top, so it's not going to be that visible. If it helps, you can fold your row right here where the loops are, so that you can more easily go through them. And I think it's definitely easier to take multiple at a time. So use a long needle like this one, so you can weave it through multiple loops. And just be sure not to pull it too tightly, unless you have tied it very well at the end. Otherwise you're gonna pull all of the elastic. And you're just going to continue this all the way around the top until you are at the beginning. You might also find it easier to hold it like this and then go in this direction. And as you can see, I kind of randomly go through the stitches. I'm not really counting or anything, I'm just going through kind of randomly. Whatever works. So I'll just go through the loops and then into the seam. I'm just going to tie a knot with the elastic and then try it on to see how it fits and if it's comfortable. So now to the strap, I'm gonna make a slip knot and then take the top. So find the seam, make sure the seam is on the side over here, and then kind of just make sure that the stitches are distributed, or the elastic is distributed all around, that there's the same amount of ruffles all around. And then find about middle. Doesn't have to be perfect because the seam is quite invisible, so you can just adjust it when you wear it. So go into the middle under 2 loops and make a slip stitch. And depending on how thick you want the strap, you can either make a chainless foundation, or you can just make chains. So either just make tight chains, chaining and then tightening, or start here and then go into the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, so you have 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through 1, and then grab the yarn, pull through 2, into the 2 loops here, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 1, grab the yarn, pull through 2. Through the 2 loops here on the side, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 1, grab the yarn, pull through 2. And that will give you a thicker strap. So it kind of depends on what kind of look you want. But this is just a chainless foundation in single crochet. And we're just gonna continue until we have measurement 3. When you have the length for the strap, you can continue with the same stitch, or you can stop and then make chains for the neck. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna stop with the chainless foundation and then tightly chain until I have about 35 or 40 centimeters. So just a chain and then tighten it. Now my strap measures approximately 40 centimeters. I'm gonna break off the yarn. And then go back to where the thin straps begin. Take my yarn and make a slip knot. And then go into the strap. Make a slip stitch. And then tightly chain until you have the same length as the other one.